Okay, so we know that we have seen it's a transistor, right? BJT is basically the, if we look into the device size, is the order of few millimeters, right? If you see the standalone device is a few millimeter. So it means if you want to create a circuit, right? If you want to create a circuit that employs maybe less large number of transistors for any purpose. In that case, may not be, the system maybe become bulky. So of course, the kind of like a, let's say, the basically about this integrated, or let's say field effect transistors, the ideas started originated from the 20s, but we there was no kind of a method to realize it on theoretically it was there, but to look into the experimental it was not, unless there was an a BJT concept was came up, like when they fabricated the device. So over the years, let's say from 60s, late 60s to the current, if you look into the dimensions or the device size, it's basically we have reached from started from the journey into tens of micrometer, and then right now we are one order less. That means we are somewhere in the tens of nanometer. So it means if the we can have one realize kind of like a current control or voltage control devices at the order of let's say very small size, at the very small scale. So if you have a 10 nanometer, let's say you are making a transistor, so it means you can integrate large number of devices on a small chip, right? So the journey started in that way, let's say micron size devices, and now we are into some nanometer devices. That's one transistor size I'm talking about. So it means you have the billions of millions of transistors are integrated over a small area. So that's the reason we call as a very large scale integrated devices, VLSIs. And so one of the example is that you generally come across, if you see that operation amplifier which you're doing the experiment is an example of IC, that's integrated circuit, right? So basically the field effect transistor. So it has all the meanings, like it has a explanation for all the terms which we use here is a field effect. So basically it is a kind of like you're applying a certain voltage, you're generating an electric field, and because of the voltage it's controlling the current, right? So it's basically the field effect transistor, the voltage control devices. So it comes, so before I go, okay, let me okay, so basically it's in a metal oxide semiconductor FETs, and we do have sort of, so size is much smaller. So basically the MOSFETs, as I mentioned, as I said to you, that size is much smaller than the basic BJT used for creating a, let's say, integrated circuit VLSI, high density. So the MOSFET comes into the N type um, metal oxide semiconductor, or P type metal oxide semiconductor. So sometimes we call this as we refer this as NMOS, and this is, we refer this in a PMOS. And the combination of NMOS and PMOS is basically is we call it a complementary metal oxide semiconductor, CMOS. So whatever you heard about the CMOS technology, the circuits, basically this makes use of the both PMOS and NMOS together. So that's we call it an so if we combine these two in a configuration, so basically we come into the complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Basically is a FET. This is basically the transistor. And other than this, so we have another variant. This is, we call it the junction field effect transistor. So it's a PN junction field transistor. So in these devices, basically the FETs, the current is controlled by the electric field, as I was saying to you. So you apply in a voltage and you control the current that flows through this device. And we also, so it means what we simply do it, we simply modulates conductance, modulate the conductance of the semiconductor. So that's the reason. That's the reason, since we have the control to modulate, like change the conductance of the semiconductor. So that's the reason that says a field. We call as a field effect. And we can have two different scenarios in this again field effect. One is called as enhancement, enhancement mode and was the depletion mode. So we'll restrict ourselves to the basically to the enhancement mode type MOSFET. So if we look into the before I go to the, let's say, distinguish make you how do we understand, or let's say what's the difference between the BJT and FET. Let's show you the actually the actual device how does it look like, so then I'll come back. So basically this is kind of like a device. You have a substrate which is a body which may be a semiconductor, maybe P type or N type, and then it has a three different terminals. So basically this is a four terminal devices, is a four terminal devices, but eventually this we generally do not count. So count in the sense we, though it's taken care, but we sometimes we call as a three terminal. So basically the one terminal is here, another terminal is this one, another terminal is here. So we'll come to the nomenclature very soon. So how the device I'm talking to MOSFET is something like this. So it means the dimension of this device now is possible to go to the nanometer. So if we look into the kind of like a, let's say, comparison between the BJT and FETs. So this is one is bulk in size, that we can say large size. This is first of all, this is a larger in size, which is a small size in order of in micrometer, the device size, or possible to now is since I'm talking in current states, can go nanometer, tens of nanometers now there, but people are pushing it towards going to the to few nanometers, like 1 nanometer, 2 nanometer, if we can create a transistor, right? So it means there is a high possibility to integrate large number of then functionalities, or let's say on onto a small chip. So this is in BJT. If we have seen it, is basically the current control, because where is yeah, basically the collector current that flows into, let's say, an output, that output loop or output circuit of on the BJT basically is a current controlled. In this case, it's in a voltage controlled. This is in a voltage control device. And other than this, the other basic difference is in a bipolar. So bipolar means both charge carriers, both charge carriers means the electrons and holes actually constitute the current, whereas in this case it's a unipolar device. It's a new unipolar means only either electron or it is in the hole. So that depends on to the how do we create the device. So that's I think that I'm going to explain. So either of one of the only one type of charge carriers constitute the current here, right? So other than this, it has a low input impedance. If you look into the base to emitter, so it's a low input impedance, where in this case it's a high input. It's a high input impedance. So it's other than this, we have better in terms of, let's say, temperature stability, and of course better temperature stability can be used for integrated circuit to create the integrated circuit. Integrated circuit means large number of device integrating for different functionalities, whether it's your analog or the digital functionalities. We can do it, and was used for the digital, as mentioned, small size, less area, take less area that time, so it means we can have a high density integration, right? So this is about a basic difference between the BJT and FETs. So to make understand, so what we'll do here, this is the basic structure basic structure of a MOSFET, and if we look into this, is mimic as a kind of like a capacitor, right? So this we call sometimes in a metal oxide semiconductor capacitor, right? If you remember, if we have a parallel plate capacitor and we apply a voltage, let's say what we get it, so it means this has it got a positive charge, and this plate is a negatively charged, and this is a capacitor, and this may be any kind of like a insulator, maybe air, or it can be any oxide, it can be any dielectric, any medium between these parallel plate, right? So basically this mimic in the same way. So it has a structure in such a way that we get a semiconductor substrate, which can be your either p type or n type. Then on top of that, it is a layer of insulator, which is generally which is an oxide layer, which is basically an oxide layer deposited, which has a thickness of let's say T of OX. And then on the top of this, a metal layer is deposited, right? So it means now this layer, this one we call as we refer this as a gate terminal. So the connection which makes, let's say, you're applying a certain voltage, we can apply something like this. So you can understand kind of like this VMM making, and he has a this reason is nothing. This is your oxide insulator, and then instead of like a plate, now you have a semiconductor substrate, right? So now what we are going to understand. So let's say when we apply certain voltage here, right? When you apply certain voltage, let's say whether it's a positive or negative, what's going to happen? So let's look into the let's say this figure. So this is basically denoting for a capacitor. So basically, so let's say you connect let's say negative this terminal is connected to the negative polarity of a battery, and this one is connected to the, let's say, the positive terminal of the battery. And in this let's consider substrate semiconductor substrate is a p type. Semiconductor substrate is a p type, which means that the majority charge carriers are the holes in this, and you have the acceptor atoms, which are negatively charged ions, so that its electron neutrality is maintained, right? So when you apply, let's say, the negative, what's going to happen? The holes are going to attract towards this, right? So it will be because it's an oxide insulating layer. This is a kind of an oxide layer, so it won't be passing through this, but it will be, you'll see an accumulation of positive charge carriers. Positive carriers will be at this interface that you can see here, right? So the electric field is being generated. So electric field is generated in this way, right? This is, let's when we connect a negative terminal. Now what's interesting happens if I change, let's say, if we reverse this polarity. Reverse the polarity means now let's put up the positive terminal to the gate at the gate terminal. So the basically gate terminal, I'm talking about this here. So this is your gate terminal. Now let's connect to the make the reverse the polarity. So let's say the positive. So it means the positive charge is getting will accumulate at the top of this layer here. So like shown here in this way. So you get a positive charge. Now what's going to happen when you connect the negative charge? What's going to happen is positive charge here, and the holes are being pushed away from this interface, right? The holes which are made charge carriers will be pushed away from, let's say, the region surrounding here. It will push away from here, or we can understand since the negative terminal is connected at this point, so the holes are basically, or let's say, attracted towards the negative terminal. So what is going to happen in this process? We uncover the acceptor atoms. There's a fixed atoms which are there. So it is going to create a negative space charge, and because the acceptor atoms has a negative, so it means what you will see here is basically you get an acceptor kind of like a region. So this region we call as induced negative space charge. Induced in the sense because we are applying a voltage in such a way that we are getting and what else you see is a p type. It is a positive, and we create a kind of like a negative space charge region. So this is the induced negative space charge region created now. So the magnitude of this space charge region definitely depends on to the voltage which is applied at the gate terminal. So this is one of the important point here. So because that means you creating a kind of like a channel conductance of the device would simply depends onto the voltage which we applied at the gate terminal. So we create a kind of like a channel. Channel is being created in form of space charge region. So channel is basically, so it means the conductance of the channel is basically it depends on the voltage or the magnitude of the voltage that is applied at the gate terminal, on the voltage applied at the gate terminal, right? So of course it's a certain depth. So I think, and further if we, what's going to happen, since it has a p-type, so it means it's in a free electrons which are minority charge carriers. What's going to happen as you're increasing, so you can see that electrons is basically the free electron charge, the free electrons which are minority charge carriers, they simply get attracted towards this interface. So if we see a kind of like a inversion layer that has electrons, free electrons which are created on this. So it means the magnitude of the, if we have large number of electrons somehow we induce, so that's you can get a large number of electrons and we make certain connections, so we can make a kind of like a channel, a conductance of channel can be created in the sense that electrons can be since you get an electrons are free electron which are minority charge carrier in p-type, they simply goes into the space charge region, nearby space charge region, because of this fact at this interface. I think it's not clear, but let me draw. So these are the basically the negative sign means these are not, these are the electron, and this is we call as a inversion layer. So what you see here that in a, if we have a p-type substrate, if we have a p-type substrate, I have taken a p-type substrate in this device, and if we connect a positive terminal, right, if we connect a positive terminal of the battery to the gate, so it means if we connect a positive terminal of the power supply at the gate terminal, at the gate, so what we do, we create a kind of like a uh, electron, we create an induced negative charge. So is you get an inversion layer, so means it's supposed is a positive, but you're creating a electron. So the inversion is because of the charge, right, because of the charge. So you're creating, so that's the reason we call it the inversion layer. The negative charge space region is being created where you see the free magnetic charge carriers. So it's very simple to remember it for, and this type of, let's say, construction we call as a is n-type, and this, so this we call as not n-type, I mean like NMOS. So this is basically, I think I will just once again I summarize that one, is a p-type substrate, and because of the positive terminal gate, positive is applied, positive power supply is applied at the gate terminal, and in that case we create an induced negative space charge region is created, which has a electrons as a kind of like a mobile charge carriers are being present because of the, because they are the minority charge carriers into this, into the p-type substrate, and that's this construction is basically we call as an NMOS kind of like, as we call as an NMOS. N is basically corresponding to the corresponding to this in electron inversion layer. So, and what happens if we look into the if we look into the n-type one, what happens if we look into the n-type one now, this means you have n-type substrate, and when you have n-type substrate, and if you create a, let's say if you just put up a positive terminal to the gate at here, so you see the same way, you see the electron accumulation layer because of it will be here. Now if I change the polarity, if we reverse the polarity, in the sense, let's say we connect the gate terminal is connected to the negative terminal of the battery, and so what is going to happen, so the electrons are basically being pushed away from this interface. So in this process, the you have the, because n-type means you have the donor atoms are basically which are a positively charged ions, we create a positive space charge region. So basically this region is nothing, this is a positive space charge region, and the basic charge, and then you see in this region, if we, the whole inversion layer will be created, because those are the magnetic charge carriers into the in n type, so that will be created. So this type of construction we call as a PMOS. So this type of construction is basically we call it a PMOS, because of this P corresponds to the we are talking about into this region channel, right? So the channel is having a positive charge, so that means we are talking about the PMOS. It has an n-type substrate, whereas in case of let's say let me draw it here. So just to summarize, so we get it NMOS, and let's say this is a PMOS. This is oxide, and on the top of this is a it's the metal. Right, and this is basically your gate. This is N type. This one is a P type. And it's create a space charge region. So this is a space charge region. It has so what we are going to have accept atoms. So this is basically the induced negative space charge region here. You get a positive space charge region which is connected, which forms here, not connected, which forms here, right? And what you see here, so you get an electrons which are now are into this channel, and here is the holes. So I'm doing open circles, so these are basically holes, and this means electrons, right? So the connection that you can see is positive is applied here, so you get an NMOS and PMOS. So this happens. So so this is P-type subset, N channel is weak form, so it means is a N channel is formed, and positive voltage applied at gate, and here it is basically the P channel is formed, so you apply a negative voltage at the gate terminal, right? So this is how, okay, I think there was something here. So anyway, so the device, so how we construct a device. So I just give an explanation about actually about this reason. about here actually. So you can see this is a oxide layer, and you have a substrate, you got an oxide layer, and then that's an insulator, and then on the top of this is the metal layer, which is act as a which we can connect the voltage. So that's we call as a gate terminal. So other than this, we have we constitute the device. We now need to make a device. So we create a source, and another is a drain. So like in BJT, we have a base, emitter, and collector, right? Base, emitter, and collector. So in the same way, let's say in the same way we have a source, gate, and drain, and the substrate, and sometimes with this we call as a body. So the channel length, and okay, so what's as I mentioned to you, as I just discussed, that we have depending on to the that we apply a voltage here. If you apply a positive, so now p type, so it means we connect the positive terminal. So positive terminal connected here, positive power supply is create an n channel, and the channel length is basically some is order of few micrometer. This is about 1 micrometer. The layer of the thickness of the oxide layer is about 400 or zero point 0.4 nanometer, uh, uh, right? So it's about 400 angstrom, and the source is we create this is nothing. This is a metal layer, and we create an n plus. We can see is the high doping is connected here. This is n plus, so the region has been created. So it means they are connected through the channel, and this channel is basically now acting. We create an that's when you apply voltage here, you simply create a space charge region, which is negative space charge region, and electrons which are minorly charged in p type is simply goes it's there into the at this interface, and we connect. Now let's say this is connected. This may happen certain threshold, of course, as I'm going to discuss how this device is being, let's say, kind of like a characteristic, or let's say the operation of this device. So since we connect with respect to the source, so it means source is connected to the ground here. Source is connected to the ground, and at the drain terminal we apply a signal. So this with respect to the source again. So whatever we see this kind of nomenclature when we talk about the DS, let's say in voltage. So this is a drain I'm talking about, and this is with respect to the source. In source is at the ground, so is basically whatever the voltage we apply is with respect to the source. In the same way, we apply the voltage at the gate, it means with respect to the source. So that's a VGS, right? So the subscript this is means here, right? So let's say now the value of the VGS, right? So as I not as I mentioned, as I just mentioned, that the channel kind of like, or let's say the space charge region, right, is will be created depends on to the magnitude of the voltage which is applied at the gate terminal. So in that case, the value of VGS, let's say, which we apply here, at which sufficient number of mobile electrons accumulates in this channel region to form a conducting channel, basically, is called as a threshold voltage. So the minimum value of the voltage which is applied, so we can write down here. So it means not minimum, I would say the voltage VGS, your at which sufficient number of mobile electrons accumulate in the channel. This is we call basically the threshold voltage. So basically this voltage is order of so this voltage value is generally comes between 0.5 to 1.0 volt. So let's say, so that's we can write on VTN. Since I'm discussing for the NMOS, so I'm just referring this VTN, though it is remain the same for both the uh, whether NMOS or the PMOS. So basically this is goes in the range of 0.5 to 1.0 volt. So what does it mean? So unless let's say if you apply 0.5 volt, just channel is being formed. If I apply this much, so channel is just being formed, but it may not have a sufficient number of electrons, right, to really provide a good conductance. So if we keep on increasing the voltage, then you find that the large number of electrons are being accumulated in the channel region, and the electrons are being supplied, of course, from, so you can see n plus right here. So then if we apply a certain signal, if you apply a certain signal at, let's say, at the drain to source, between here to here, if you apply a small signal, then the current will be constituted. So it means what you see here, the difference that we are applying a certain voltage, right? So that's the reason we call as a voltage control device. It's by controlling the voltage at the gate terminal, we can control the conductance, and then hence we can control the output, its output behavior, output characteristics of this device. So we can, okay, I think these are the, this I think already explained. So basically I think this is what I was saying, that we are having a channel length, he has an n plus, so we are applying, let's say, voltage. We apply a voltage, just you create a kind of like a channel is being formed, and we have, but you don't have maybe sufficient, so this kind of like at the a kind of like a threshold. So it means if you apply a voltage less than the threshold voltage, you won't see any current or any kind of like a current flow through the device, right? Even though you apply the voltage at this point, even though you apply a voltage at drain terminal, even though you apply, you won't see any, because the space charge region has to be created, and then you need to have a channel is being formed. So this is quite important. So now let's see, let's say now we apply a let's say start with the understanding of having a voltage which is applied, a signal which is applied to the drain terminal with respect to the source here. So let's consider a small okay, so considering less that we apply a voltage which is at the drain to source terminal, it is very less. So what's going to happen, since the electrons are getting here, so the electrons will flow, since it's in a positive terminal, so the electrons is going flow from here, from source to drain, and this is the flow of electrons, and the current will be, so the current that's going to flow is the current direction is here. So this is the, so it means that the direction of the drain current, which is will flow from the drain to source. So the current direction, this will be simply drain to source, and the current will be ID. It will be the same as an IS for the source which is coming from here, right? That's simply the IS, where, but the IZ is 0, because there cannot be any current flow, is not possible. So the role of the voltage applied at the gate terminal is to make to create a kind of like inversion layer. Let's say space charge and inversion layer. So this is the role of the gate, the voltage which is applied at the gate terminal. So that's what I think I discussed about threshold voltage. So it means if the voltage at which the device turns on, if your voltage at the gate terminal is less than the threshold voltage, you won't see any current flow. And if this is to be, I think this is wrong. So if the VGS is greater than VTN, then you will see the current flow drain to source here. So let's consider. So I think this I already told you that whatever we are doing it here, whether the gate and what measure voltage which we applied is with respect to it is measured with respect to the source, and source is always at the ground, at the ground potential. Okay. Hmm. Let's okay. Let's look into the onto its operation. So we apply a voltage VDS. So this VDS is, let's say I'm talking about of order of, let's say, a few millivolt. I'm not talking about order of volt right now. Let's say the signal which is applied is order of millivolt at the drain terminal. So drain terminal is basically your over here. So it means at this point you apply, let's say, a signal which is less than a 5 millivolt or so. Let's say positive you applied here. So what's going to happen? So the VDS is going to, and the gate voltage which is applied here is such a way that it is larger than the its threshold voltage. So it means this space charge region is created and it has sufficient number of electrons which may constitute the current, right? Considering that condition, and then let's say apply a signal at VDS at the drain terminal. You apply a signal. Consider this has a magnitude or amplitude of less than a 5 millivolt. So a small signal. What's going to happen? So the drain current is going to flow, and it depends on. So it means that also depends on onto the magnitude of the VGS, right? As you go for the, if I keep on changing the VGS, so it means you are simply creating a, if you keep on increasing VGS, what's going to happen is you are going to create a, this region is going to more going to extend. So it means this, let's say the thickness, not thickness, yeah, let's say the thickness of the space charge region is going to enlarge as we keep on increasing the gate to source voltage, right? So it means you are having a more conductance, and more conductors means you get a larger current. All right, so that's may happen, but that's happening. So as we going for VGS greater than VTN, so the conductance of the channel now in this case, so that you see here, so that's a VDS as you are applying, let's say, the voltage at the drain terminal. You see the rise in this drain current, rise in the drain current. This will happen as you go increasing the VDS, right? That's for fixed. This is for fixed, let's say, VGS, which is greater than the value of the threshold voltage. So that is the channel is on, right? Mean channel means that says we form the channel, right? So the conductance of the channel. So the conductance of, so it means this conductance of the channel is going to, so it's basically depends on to the voltages which is applied. Basically it would be your, let's say, proportional to the I would say, let's say, axis voltage, axis gate voltage, and that means VGS which is connected the gate terminal minus VDS, right, which is a small signal which is applied at the drain terminal, right? So basically you are having a, so let's say I'm just denoting with this. So this is the oxide, it's metal, you're connecting. So this is VGS, and then you have a VDS here, and this is source which is at the ground. So source, and this is the drain, but it's connected the VDS. So it's the gate terminal, and this is the drain terminal, right? I'm just drawing that from the top view. So what you see here, so that's depend on to the axis gate voltage VGS minus VDS, and so it means this we sometimes we call as a this as an effective voltage or overdrive. sometimes we call as the effective voltage or overdrive voltage. So it means the current, this current ID would be simply, it would be depends on, it will be not this, I think we are going to get the relation, but it would simply depends on to the this voltage VGS minus VDS as well as sorry, I think should not be this one VDS, not VDS, sorry, this should be VTN. Okay, that will come later on, but not now. So okay, sorry for this mistake. So this is to be VTN is the threshold voltage, so that's an access gate voltage, would is simply VGS minus VTN. So this would depends on to the VGS minus VTN as well as it also depend on to the VDS, right? Because we are applying the voltage at the gate terminal. We are changing this, actually the space surgeon means changing the conductance. So what's going to happen? So this is, let's say, one of the, so for other cases I can draw the curve maybe here should have drawn nicely, and this is a situation where VGS is less than or equal to the VTN just found, but you don't see any current. And other cases situation might be VGS1, VGS2, VGS3, VGS4, like this way, right? So different gate voltages, you can see the different current, because as you keep on increasing the voltage at the gate terminal, you're changing simply this region, right? You're getting more electrons are getting accumulated into this. So increasing the VGS, there's a gate voltage above threshold voltage, it enhances the channel, and that's the reason we call this as an enhancement mode or enhancement type MOSFET. Right, this enhancement is coming because by application of the voltage at the gate terminal, we are changing the this region, conductance is being changed, right? So what's going to happen further when we I'll come to this figure later on, so I think I'll just back. So what's going to happen when we increasing this voltage VDS now as we go slightly larger. So whatever you see at this figure on the right hand side, on this figure I mean like here, so VDS is now, so I was till here at this point, so this is something like this characteristics, that you see this kind of like characteristics here. So you get a straight line behavior up to certain voltage of VDS, but as we keep on increasing the VDS, as we keep on increasing the as we keep on increasing this VDS, as we keep on increasing this VDS, what's going to happen that the curves is the relation, that's a current is not now straight, it's not a linear, means now it started having a certain kind of like a nonlinear, showing certain nonlinear behavior, and if we keep on increasing, you'll find that's become almost independent of the VDS. That's that I will show you probably into the next few slides, that is keep on increasing, it started becoming a nonlinear, and then is keep on increasing further, is become almost an independent of the VDS, means that's become a saturation point, that's become this device is now enter into the saturation mode. Why this is why this behavior is happening, that's, let's say, is deviate from the its let's say the linear relationship. So this is uh, because of the because that thickness of the channel, the thickness of the channel's inversion layer, it's not kind of like a, it's not uniform, it's not uniform from source to drain, but it started having a certain kind of like a tapering would tapering starts, and this tapering happens, this is to understand to this, and because we have the, okay, let's make a one, hold on. Just 1 second. Right. So if we look, so this is your drain and applying voltage VDS. So gate, and this we have the VGS, and this is source which is at the ground source here, right? And what we have induced, let's say this is n plus, so basically let's say I'm just making an effective drawing. So basically the channel is being formed between here to here, so you have this region. So the thickness of the channel, since you are applying a voltage VDS which is a positive, this is also you are applying a positive terminal, so and this is at the ground. So what you see, the channel, the thickness of the channel is not remain doesn't remain uniform as we travel from source to the source to the drain. So this is because it's a higher potential, this is a lower potential, so it means the channel would be deepest at this region. But as we move from here, because the voltage that's being applied, so the voltage difference, effective voltage difference between here to here is now decreasing. So what's going to happen? So channel is, let's say, deepest here, then now here, and somewhere here, and it's become somewhere here. So it's become kind of like a tapered. So the channel thickness not now doesn't remain a kind of like uniform. So it's, but it become a tapered, and this depends totally onto the value of the voltages which we apply here. If you are applying a large voltage, let's say you fix the VGS. Let's say this is fixed. For example, let's say I fixed this to the 5 volt here. This is fixed, and you have very small signal which we applied, let's say 10 millivolt or 20 millivolt, 30 millivolt, no issue, there is no problem into this one. But as soon as we going for the VDS is larger, right, let's say 1 volt or 2 volt, in this case it's because effectively if we take a VGS minus VDS, the kind of like a voltage difference across this region is not changing, right? So that's changing means the voltage changing means you are changing the simply the channel, let's say channel thickness. So this is one of the reason, and it may happen that if we for the large value, it may happen that for the large value, it may kind of like a become almost negligible at the one of the point, and this point actually we call as a pinched off. So this point we call as a pinched off, where the thickness of this channel is almost negligibly, means almost zero, is become zero, right? Can see is become a taper depending on to the value which we apply, and there the point we define as an so where we reach this point we define as a saturation point. So it means this turning keep on happening, and at the point at which we achieve, let's say even if you increase the voltage further, even if you increase the, let's say the voltage at the drain terminal further, it's doesn't like it doesn't affect, it affects us slightly but it doesn't affect. So if on keep on increasing, so voltage, what's going to happen, this pinch off region slightly moves, certain small modulation it happens, so it may depends on the voltage which applies, small modulation may happen. So basically this region till here is a linear, and as we keep on, so still the small voltage levels, as we keep on increasing we entered into saturation region, and this behavior is because of uneven, let's say the channel length, uneven channel length, I will say tapered channel length is happening. So it means conductance is going to change, it will have a large conductance and at this side, and you have the small conductance on this side, so the conductance is now also changing across the length. So you're having a certain like this behavior, That's point we call as a saturation voltage. That's the point we call as a saturation voltage. And we apply the voltage larger than the saturation voltage is you'll see that the current which is flowing through the let's say the current which is being constituted, let's say measuring the let's say drain current, is become independent of the voltage which is applied here. So that's a reason is a saturation reason. Is clear? So this is what actually written on this slide. That so if you have any question, you can ask. We make a stop here, and we continue on Monday.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, can you please upload the tutorial 3 of BJT?
Has not been uploaded by has not been uploaded.
No, sir, it has not been uploaded, sir.
Okay, I will ask. No issue.
And sir, the next test which is scheduled on 10th of March.
10th of March. It is
So
scheduled on
the,
10th of March.
the syllabus will be only of tutorial 3, right, sir?
Yes, yes. The syllabus is till the I think basic of BJT, and then DC analysis part. DC analysis part, not the amplification part, but the DC analysis part only.
So only solving the tutorial 3 will do. I mean, for practicing the questions, the topics, covering the topics.
I think in tutorial, I'm not sure what they have discussed in tutorial 3. I have no idea what they have discussed, but except the amplification part.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.